Hello. Welcome to Solus Gaming, and I am Melanie Starmonger, and I am here with Solus.
And this is episode 1 of season 2 of the Entropians Guide to the Universe. Thank you for making season 1 a success. We're looking forward to a lot more great episodes for you guys.
And today we are going to take a brief
look at pet taming.
So I have the Dominatrix Original Garter, and let's look at that details. You have to be level 0 whipper, hit and damage to use it, a very good durability, attacks per minute, and a damage interval.
Now, a little while later in the episode, we'll go over where you can acquire this and that kind of thing. But for now, let's get back to Melanie.
So we're using this, and it is the beginner one, and we are out here at New Treasure Island main hangar, and we are going to be taming bristle hogs. I have Puff, which is my Sharon Dragon Green, and he is at the levels where I can get a pet taming buff from him, and that unlocks for him at level 10 or 11. But to turn on his buffs, you go into here where it says skill gains, pet and taming, and you push, and it'll show you how much extra energy or food it'll take per hour. And the strength is 10% pet taming. So I'm going to want to go over here to active, hit it,
and it'll turn on the buff.
And it'll activate it.
Okay.
And it'll show you that it's down here on my, in my buff bars.
Okay, now one question. Can you show us a pet that does not have its buff unlocked?
Not right now.
Okay, well, we'll go over how you unlock the buffs a little bit later, too. So, okay, go ahead.
So, I like coming out here to do the bristle hogs. They give you a pet taming buff, too, and they're the easiest pet to tame on Cali, in my opinion.
And they are a really good mob to get started on.
So, yeah, like, you just hit it like you would do any other one. And it gives you these 2 bars, one's spirit and one's respect. You want to get the spirit, you want to get them both past the lines.
Right, and spirit you want lower than the white line.
When it tells you can tame, it'll show you, and you just left click on the pet, and it says I failed at it. That's okay, that happens. You're going to want to be careful not to kill these guys either, because you can kill them hitting them with the whip.
Yeah, you have to be careful, so like she just
like
did.
I did. Let me find another one.
Now, there are other pets that have other buffs like auto loot and critical hit bonuses and speed buffs and things like that. When we get into how you train your pet, we'll go over more of those types of pets.
Okay, wants me to tame it, so left click. Let's see, I failed at that again.
Yeah. Now, if you fail the first time, don't worry. Sometimes you won't get it on the first try, sometimes you will.
Sometimes I find that it's easier for me, I'm gonna die, sometimes I find it's easier to try to do 2 at once. Because it gives the other one time to regen its health bar so you don't kill it.
That's actually a pretty good strategy.
Um, yep, I got that one too.
All right.
Let's try this one now. And if you're a lower level player that doesn't have a lot of dodge and evade, I suggest you wear an armor with these guys.
Yeah, because they can hurt you,
They can
especially
hurt
if you're a
you.
lower level player and haven't got your
Another
dodge and
one.
evade up quite as much. But this is also another good way to work on your dodge and evade.
Yes. And you do get the pret and shrapnel. Um, you also have to feed your pet nutria bars. And to get nutria bars, it's fruit and
Sweet stuff.
And sweet stuff is a mining
Energy matter.
mat.
And fruit, as you all know, you can just walk around and pick up. And how you turn it into nutria bars is you put them both in a refiner and it turns into pet food.
I don't have any sweet stuff on me, and my fruit is on serene. So then let me pull this guy out. This is one of the guys that I just
That we just got.
tamed. And for him, his metabolic rate is 10. So that means he uses 10 nutria bars an hour when he's out. His XP is 0. His affection for me is 10. His mood is 50. And his energy is 0. And he's starving. Like I said, I don't have any nutria bars on me. They're on serene. He's exportable at level 7. That means that you can take him to another planet that is not his home planet.
And spawn him there.
And spawn him there at level 7. Training is easy. He's a very common in the date that I acquired on him.
Now, here's what we wanted to point out. If when she clicks on the passive, like before, you notice the buff is locked. Now, you also notice you have some other things in there, like level requirement for his buff, which is 14. Now, for the criteria, how you train that is you see over there where it says pet and taming skills. Well, to train his criteria, what you do is you have him out and you perform what the buff is in. Like, you would have him out and be taming other bristle hogs or whatever, and that's how you train the criteria.
And to get the buff unlock, it costs 3 ped, and it takes essence. 20 essence and no rare essence.
Right.
And essence looks like this.
And this can be found either on the auction, sometimes in shops, or how do you get that stuff otherwise?
You're gonna wanna smush your pet.
Smush them?
Smush your unwanted pet. And let me show you how to do that. The closest one is at the one I
Port
use
Atlantis.
is at Port Atlantis.
All right. So, if you give us just a second, we'll be right back with you at Port Atlantis.
Okay, I'm teeing into Port Atlantis right now, and there are different levels of to tame a pet. You noticed how the bristle hogs had hearts on them next to their health part. That's how you know that a pet can be tamed. There are different levels of whips because some pets that you can tame have to have higher level whips.
And you have to have higher level skills to be able to tame them as well sometimes. Also, there are different buffs, and as I said before, you train the buffs up in Like if you had a pet that had an auto loop buff, what you would do to train the criteria for that one is you take a bunch of auto loop pills until that criteria bar is full. If you had one that this
And to get here, you at Part Atlantis Mall, you you televator down. Yeah, that's what it is called. And then you're gonna run straight out this
to the north corner,
and then you're gonna want to take a left, and they're out here.
Yeah. Now they used to be up here by the road, but they moved them out into the field a little bit. I really don't know why they did that, but anyway, as I was saying, like if you had a rabbit his buff is a speed buff, you just pull them out and let them follow you around until that bar is full to train that criteria, and so on.
Okay, and then they're right here, and this gives you a couple of options. This is how you put your buff on a pet. I don't have a pet that needs a buff put on it, but if you did, you would put it
right
in here.
When you go to show them how to extract them, it'll still show what the requirements and stuff are. So
no, it doesn't. And we're gonna extract these pets to get the essence. So we're gonna take the pet that we just tamed and go apply. It'll say the utility will extract animal essence from your chosen pet. Extracting essence from pet results in 1 to 3 containers of essence, with the possibility of a rare variant.
Now, this also destroys the pet. So once you do this, be careful. What you're going to want to do is the pets that you're training, make sure you lock them so you can't put them in here by mistake. Like you would lock an item from being able to sell it.
Yes.
You do the same thing with your pets that you're training so that you don't accidentally extract them. Because I've done that a few times. I've had some that are pretty trained up that I smushed on accident.
I had a bristle hog that was at level 6 that I accidentally smushed.
So do be aware of that. When you smush them, it destroys the pet. So you're going to want to lock them.
Then you just go apply, and it'll go, this will destroy the pet. Are you sure? Yes.
So it does warn you.
And that gave me 1. Mm-hmm. Let me do these last 2. Oh, that one gave me 2.
Yeah. All right.
And that one gave me 3.
Yeah, good job. Oh. All right. So where do we get the whips?
There are people that craft them, and you can get them on Auction House too.
And also on Arcadia, Noosels drop them.
Noosels drop them on Arcadia.
You can also get a mentor. If you are a mentor, one of the mentor items is a mentor edition whip.
There are some bristle hogs out here too that can be tamed. I prefer New Treasure Island, but it's because I also have shares for New Treasure Island. And your pet, when it gets trained, will unlock tricks, and this one can do 6, 5, even both.
Now, does taming pets help with any other skills like biotropic and things like that? Or telepath?
It helps with melee skills because your whip is a melee weapon.
That's right. So in the auction house, if you're looking for one, we forgot to mention this is under melee weapons. You would think it would be a tool, but nope, it's under melee weapons in the auction house.
That one just is not wanting me to tame it.
So as we mentioned before, this is a good way to work on dodge and evade. It's a good way to work on melee skills. I do believe there are some telepath skills that come into play here.
I think so, because you do like this mind force.
Right.
You need
So I do believe it does help with some mind force skills. possibly biotropic would be one that would come to mind. And telepath and psyche maybe.
Got him.
It might help with psyche, um, and some other ones. And not to mention some of the buffs that these pets have. Oh yeah, we didn't go over the various nomenclatures as far as like regular, silver, ruby, and sapphire.
Oh yeah, some of your more advanced pets come in different varieties.
Right. Now, the different varieties of pets, your regular pets will usually only have one buff. Sometimes a silver pet will only have one buff, but it'll be a really, really strong one compared to a regular buff. Now, your ruby and sapphires, your rubies generally have at least two buffs. Some can have three depending on the pet. If it's a legendary ruby, then generally they might have three. Your sapphires generally have three. Sometimes they only have two, though, depending on the buff and the strength. It varies by pet and what type of buff it is.
That was a good one. I got the bristle hog.
Oh yeah.
And $1 or 120.
Yeah. But also, like my Regilite rabbit has three buffs, which is one is a auto loot, one is a critical hit buff, which unlocks at 60, and the other one I believe is a pet and taming buff or something. I don't remember. It's something that you wouldn't think would be on a Regilite rabbit, but it is. And there are other pets that have like health buffs and things like that that are arranged in the same manner. It just really depends on the pet. Now, one exception to the level 7 rule is any pet that you get from a lockbox, you can generally spawn on any planet unless it says otherwise. You don't have to train that one up to level 7. But those are a little less common, and you can generally find them in shops like the panda, the kitty, and the dog, and there's a few others that come from lockboxes.
Actually, they're very common because a lot of people open them boxes.
Well, what I mean is you won't commonly find them on the market. You'll find them more in shops and people selling them. Is what I meant by that.
Okay.
But
pet prices depend on the level that the pet is,
if the rarity.
The rarity, if the buffs has been unlocked, and how many of the buffs has been unlocked.
Right. Because I have 2 out of the 3 buffs unlocked on my Regilite, and he's a level 33. I've still got 27 levels to go on the critical hit buff, but that's a 15% buff. So that's worth doing the grinding for. I just have to feed him some more so he'll get his XP concentration back and start moving again. Because he's starving at the moment. So, one thing is some pets in certain area events, like regular land area events, like the robots over by Notice.
I killed that one again.
My Regilite bunny has a hidden buff that whenever I'm in that area fighting those robots, I get a 4% health boost. And I know the Teslas have something similar, the Tesla pets. There's a few pets that have hidden buffs like that, to where if you're doing a certain wave spawn event, there's an extra buff that comes into play. I think I did that on, I showed that in the iRobot video where he had an extra buff that he was applying to me that applied to my, no, it was my regeneration rate. That's what it was, which is actually a health buff. So there are those pets that have those special abilities as well. So, is there anything else you want to add?
Nope, that's about it.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us for pet taming and what it can do for you. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, and let's get our subs up to 500 so we can get the monetization unlocked, and it would help us out immensely as far as some things go. And we
Oh,
appreciate the support, guys.
There are rings that you can get that give you.
Oh, right.
taming
We
buffs,
forgot to
too.
mention the taming buff rings. I think you have one, don't you?
I don't have one. That's why I have my puff.
Right. I forget what the name of the ring is. It's an that's the one.
This one I quickly found on auction before we started the video. And let me heal myself really quick.
Okay. Now this ring
and this one's a limited, but they also have unlimited ones, and they also go up to perfected. I think with this one gives you a 4% chance.
Right.
I don't feel the need to particularly have this ring when Puff gives me a 10% buff for it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you get Puff and the ring, it'll stack the buffs, so that would be 14.
Exactly. All right. So, yep, last minute thing that we almost forgot.
I got him as I died.
Interesting. All right, so I think that's going to wrap this one up, guys. Thanks for watching, and also thanks for making Season 1 a success. We hope to do the same with Season 2. We'll see everybody later. Like, share, subscribe.
Yeah, these guys aren't no joke when you have like 4 or 5 of them on there without any armor on.
Mm-hmm. And be sure to check out our merchandise in the links below, as well as our new sponsor that we keep forgetting to make something for, but we promise we'll get it in the next one. Anyway, that's going to do it for us. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Yep, good night.
Bye-bye.
Hope this was helpful. Like, share, and subscribe.
Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you